so what we're going to do tonight is we're just going to walk through a presentation I use when I'm walking my buyer clients through the home buying process, right? So usually what happens, somebody reaches out to me, they say that they're interested in buying a home, and we set up a buyer consultation. In that buyer consultation, the very beginning part of the process is what's called a needs analysis. That's where we ask you a bunch of questions, try to find out what type of property you're looking for, your timeline, just to kind of get to pull as much information as we possibly can, right? At the end of that presentation, or at the end of that discussion, then we come to this little drawing presentation that I do for all my clients, my prospective clients, where I kind of walk them through the home buying process. Now, what you're going to learn in this session is you're going to learn about the 5 major players or entities that you're going to have in almost every real estate transaction. Then we're going to talk about the timeline of the transaction, and then we're going to talk about the actual process for buying a home, right? So from selecting an agent, talking to a lender, all the way down to your contingencies and closing. So watching this video, you should be able to have a firm grasp of what is going to be required of you to buy a home in 2022. Okay, so we have the players in a real estate transaction, the real estate agent, realtor, then we have the lender, title company, home inspector, appraiser, right? A traditional real estate process takes about 30 to 45 days from the date of ratification, right? Or the date that you go under contract. This is the date that you and the seller have agreed on moving forward with you buying the seller's property and you giving the seller money. So we have these 4 different phases of the process. We have phase 1, which is going to be you select your agent, select your lender, select, view, and discard properties, write offers, accept, ratify on a contract. And then with the select a lender phase, we have these 2 options that you're getting from the lender, which is either pre-qualify or pre-approval. With the pre-qualify, this is called desktop underwriting. This is where they really just take your social security number, do a credit check, and you give them an estimate of how much money you make per year. Then we have the pre-approval, which is my preferred option for all clients, which is where they still do the credit check, but they also conduct the full mortgage application. You provide them with your W-2 or your tax documents, and also bank statements for some predetermined period of time, and they verify your employment. This is called manual underwriting, right? And so that's what the lender is for. Let's just draw this arrow right here. And then with the select and view of properties, if you're not used to this particular area, or if this is your first time buying a house, I recommend that you at least you fully view the first 3 properties that you're viewing when you're in the select, view, and discard phase, right? We want you to get a better idea of what it's like to see a property in person versus see a property online, because most of the process, everything really starts online with these wonderful photos with these wide angle lenses that distort the property. And so you're trying to get an idea of what does this particular room looks like with a wide angle lens, or the way the real estate agents are filming it. Then we have write-in offers. So write-in offers can take anywhere from, you can get your first property to, if you're buying a house in the springtime or summertime 2022, then you may have to do several offers on properties just to get one under contract. Then we have accept, ratify. This is where you and the seller have agreed, the buyer and the seller has agreed to move forward with the contract, and they've accepted, they've agreed on the terms. Now you're moving into the contingency phase. With the contingency phase, there's 3 different contingencies. There's inspections, there's the lender, and then there is the title company. Now, I put this in here just because this is what happens next, but you're going to deliver your earnest money deposit within 3 to 5 days, not business days, 3 to 5 days. We like to err on the side of the 5 days to give our clients enough time to deliver the deposit if it's a weekend or a holiday or a bank holiday or anything like that, right? Because usually this needs to be, no, I don't think this has to be in a money order. I think it could be with a personal check, but I'm not sure. It depends on the title company you're using, okay? So in the inspection phase, you're going to conduct your home inspection. In Virginia, we have a lot of properties that have radon. Radon is an odorless gas that is known to cause cancer. So we highly recommend that you also get a radon inspection. And there are 4 types of home inspections, right? So you have a traditional home inspection, which you're probably already used to, which is where the home inspector is going to inspect these major systems the HVAC, the water heater, roof, mold, check the doors, windows, and stuff like that, right? The seller knows you're going to negotiate here. Then there's the option to void, or also in the olden days called informational purposes only. Both of these home inspections cost $600 to $800. With the option to void, this gives you only two options. Either you're going to move forward with the deal, or you're going to destroy the deal. You're going to kill the deal. I still recommend that even if you're in the option to void phase of the process, that you still negotiate with the seller. You still come back at them with whatever you think would be suffice to not kill the deal. The next home inspection we have is called a walk-in talk. A walk-in talk is no report. You get no reports. With these two, you get a report. With this one, there's no report. Also, is much cheaper. It's $250 to $400. The home inspector will just walk around the property and talk to you about the major systems. This is only a tool used in extreme conditions when the market is red hot. Properties are selling either before they come on the market or within minutes of coming on the market. This is something that you're probably using in the spring market this year, probably in some parts of the early summer market, but I don't see us using this throughout the year just based on the way this year has already started. Then we have no home inspection whatsoever. This is super risky. This is the most risky thing, and we do not recommend you ever buy a house without getting a home inspection. There's a couple reasons why. Number one, even if you've seen the property, you've only been in the property for what, 15 minutes maybe? 15 minutes isn't enough time to be able to assess whether or not you are making a good decision on a $500,000 or a $700,000 or $1.4 million property, right? That's one of the reasons why we don't recommend not doing a home inspection, because the home inspection is really your opportunity to really see the property for what it is, right? And for the systems that make up the property. So we'll never recommend you do that. And it is the most risky of all of the options. So that's in an inspection phase, and that happens in phase 2. Now, in the lender phase of removing the contingency, the lender is going to do the same thing that I already recommended that you do for your pre-approval. If you do have an official pre-approval where they've done all these items, this part of the process is super easy, because what they're probably going to do here is that they're just going to ask you for updated bank statements, right? Because everything else is going to change. They're still going to verify your employment again, just to make sure you still have your job, because some people are, I've heard horror stories of people losing their jobs while they were buying a house. And then the underwriting is the manual underwriting, or where the bank determines that they will issue the loan for you, will be contingent on the appraisal being done. The appraisal has to be ordered by the lender, and then that's sometimes ordered in phase 2 of the process. Usually is ordered in phase 3, because this is a hard cost of anywhere from $600 to $800. And so the lender kind of wants to make sure that you're getting out of the home inspection, because this is the only time you can cancel the deal outside of reviewing the HOA documents. We won't cover the HOA documents or the condo documents here, but those two places are the only two places you can really get out of a deal: reviewing your HOA docs and the home inspection. Okay, so the next thing the lender contingency phase is going to be your home insurance. This is hazard insurance, homeowners insurance, or flood insurance, right? If you're living in the flood zone. I don't recommend that you actually wait to get this done in phase 3, 4 of the process. I would like to see you get it done in the inspection phase, because we want to know how much this insurance is, because it's going to affect your monthly cost. And what if the insurance is so high that you really don't want to move forward with the property? We could just get out of the contract in the home inspection phase. Lastly, we have a survey that will be performed, or it's optional, right? So for surveys, I recommend it for all of my clients who are buying single family homes, so that in the event they have some type of dispute with their neighbor over the fence line, or they want to put a new fence up, they already have that piece of that document prepared for them. And then for my townhouse clients, I recommend that they get a survey if they plan on putting up a fence, or if they're going to redo the deck. Usually HOAs require that you have some type of survey done. The last contingency is going to be the title contingency, or that's done by the title company, and they're going to conduct the title search, which is to make sure that the seller owns the property, is the rightful owner of the property, and they can sell the property. For instance, in a husband-wife situation, if the husband is selling the property or is the only name on the property, the title company will find out, make sure that they track down the wife or the spouse, and to ensure that that individual also wants to sell the property. Remove any encumbrances, which is where you remove any liens, like the mortgage, the previous homeowner's mortgage, or any tax liens or any kind of other liens maybe put on by the local government. Lastly, we have obtained title insurance. This is insurance to protect your ownership share of the property in the event that somebody tries to lay a claim against it, right? So that's it. So that's the home buying process for 2022. Man, so if you're ready to start the home buying process, or even you're thinking about selling a home and you got to buy a home, in addition to that, there is a link in the description to our perfect home questionnaire. Fill out that questionnaire and we will schedule a Zoom session, something similar to this. I'll answer all your questions about the real estate market and also about the real estate process. And then I also have a couple questions of my own. And then we can move forward with getting you what you want. Well, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Peace.